going on, guys? Dials 46 with Intrigue Airsoft. Wanted to take a look at an old throwback gun, one of the grandfathers of the electric guns from way back, talking about the old Tokyo Marui F1 FAMAS. Let's take a look at this thing. Alright guys, let's talk about the FAMAS. This is one of the first guns Tokyo Marui came out with, probably right after they came out with their M16A1 in the early 90s. Now, this electric gun is all plastic. The only thing the metal on this gun is going to be the trigger guard. The trigger's metal. The extendable built-in bipod feature, which is kind of neat. And that is it. And of course, the magazine's going to be metal. It's keeping the weight down. Now, it is durable plastic. It's a strong ABS plastic. I wouldn't have any worries about it. I never have. I've never heard any concerns about it. I've never heard about anyone snapping a FAMAS in half, Tokyo Marui FAMAS at least. So, bullpup design. Bullpup, for those of you that don't know, means that the magazine, the feeding well for the barrel, is going to be behind the pistol here. What that does is enables you to have an overall longer barrel in a smaller package. By putting this handle forward of the magazine, you're going to get a longer barrel. It's going to mean more accuracy and maybe a little bit better range. In terms of airsoft, you do get a little bit better grouping on it, but nothing significant. Obviously, especially if you keep just the stock diameter inner barrel in there. What else? Alright, let's talk about it. Good quality plastic, like I said. You know, famous Tokyo Marui grade, ABS plastic. Good stuff, all plastic. A lot of the weight's going to be in the back because the gearbox is back here. The gearbox is right back here in the buttstock, so it's going to be a little bit back heavy, along with the magazine as well. You can get 60-round standard magazines or 300-round wind-up high caps for this gun as well, so that's going to add a little bit of additional weight to the back. So it is a little bit back heavy. The only good thing is that when you get that battery, and that goes in the foregrip here, the handguard, it's going to level out the weight a little bit, but nothing too much, nothing too significant. It's still going to be a little bit back heavy. Also, side note about that is, with this gearbox right next to your head going off, I mean, you're hearing all the gears working, pop, 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 from the piston slamming in every time. So it's loud. It's loud. It's loud. It's one of those loud-ass guns. Make sure you're listening for people to call their hits, because you might not be able to when you got this gearbox going off next to your head right here. Let's see. Let's just talk about Tokyo Marui in general. Great guns, quality guns, built to last forever. Great internals. You know, some of the market quality setting ingredients into an electric airsoft gun. Tokyo Marui has always set the bar for that before everyone else, and everyone, no matter who you want to talk about, copied off that same level of quality and what Tokyo Marui brought to the airsoft world. 280 feet per second on most of the older Tokyo Marui AEGs. 280. Now, you're thinking, yeah, 280 is pretty low, and it is. The fun thing about it, though, is you can watch those BBs sell when you got full auto. I mean, they just sell, you know. They float. And the reason why I say they float, and it's so much fun to shoot and watch, is because Tokyo Marui's got a great pop-up. The rubber they use in their bucking, and the design of all their hop-up units and all their early model AEGs is just top-notch quality. So regardless of the feet per second being so low, those BBs are still going to get out there and range up with some of your, anywhere from 350 to 400 feet per second guns. You're going to see a little drop off in range, obviously, with the lower FPS, but you'll get out there and you can compete. Side note, lower FPS, you get an old Tokyo Marui, it's going to last you forever, and you're good to go for CQB. No worries about that. You're definitely going to be well under most people's close quarters feet per second limit. So you can always think about that when purchasing a CQB weapon. Now, a few things I want to talk about on mine, and furthermore, FAMAS in general. The hop-up is going to be located on the cheek rest here. Now, the rifle comes with a, they have some molded on, and it's non-operational, it's not open. It's just molded into the ABS plastic here. The shell ejection area where the shells would eject on the real FAMAS rifle. Now, it comes with, in real life and in airsoft, a cheek pad, and what it does is it covers this top area, covers the hop-up adjustment dial, which is right here. It's going to be hard to pick up. There you go. You can see it a little bit right there. Just a little dial. And that thing's kind of squirrely to get in at. You almost need some needle nose pliers to get in there. It's a turn dial. You can go clockwise to increase the hop and counterclockwise to decrease the hop. But it's really tough to get in there with your fingers. I mean, you can do it, but not a big deal. Kind of a tough. If you're switching BB weights real quick on the field, someone throws you some BBs, you're gonna have a little bit of a hard time getting the hop up adjusted on the fly. But the cheek rest, back to that. It covers up obviously where your cheek weld is at, right here on the top, the back of the butt. It covers up that hop up adjustment dial, and then it also covers up one of the shell ejection ports on either side of the rifle. The cool thing about it is, if you're left-handed, that cheek piece can go on this side. So, right, the other side. Sorry about that. So, ideally, you're not getting shells directly in the cheek and they fly out the other side. And if you're right-handed, you put it on this side. So it's ambidextrous, that cheek piece and the shell deflector. It forces the shells to eject out one side or the other, which is a cool feature. I don't have mine. Lost it a long time ago. It's one of those screwy little pieces of plastic. It's a kind of an L-shaped piece of plastic that clamps on there. Lost it. Not a big deal. Obviously, I don't have shells flying out of this thing, so I'm not too concerned. One of the cool features about the FAMAS is that it has a spring tension release right here, this little button right there. So instead of, on most airsoft guns how we're used to, on electric guns how you're used to having to decompress the spring and semi-auto to make sure that when you store that gun for any period of time that your piston's not locked back with a compressed spring, that's going to weaken your spring over time. So instead of having to shoot on semi-auto to make sure that your spring's decompressed, on this Tokyo Marui FAMAS, they've got a little spring release right there. You're just pushing that little button, zoom, you hear the spring release its tension and sit real nice. Also, you're going to have an off position, which is kind of cool. I mean, so there's no way that this, in the off position, there's no way this gun is going to fire when the safety's off and you pull that trigger, even if you got a battery in there. It just cuts off the whole circuit to the gearbox, cuts off all the electric circuitry. Next position is safe. Excuse me. Next position is obviously off is safe. One of the additional safes. Next position is semi-auto. All the way over is full auto. Kind of a cool little gimmick to have that off switch. You don't see that on airsoft guns, and I think that's kind of cool. Just for no accidents or just to make sure that your gun's completely off if you do store it with a battery for a period of time. Now, the real safety is going to be right here in front of the trigger. And that's kind of cool because you know that the safety's on because you got this thing blocking your finger. I mean, you're blocking the trigger here. You can't get to that trigger with that block. The cool thing about it is you just push it to the side with your index finger. Okay? And you pull it back in. Push it to the side. Safety's off. You know the safety's off. You have full contact with your trigger finger to the trigger. Good to go. I got it in the off switch, so I can do that. Plus, I don't think it's better. What else? The FAMAS came. Oh, also, the other thing about that safety is you're going to have to push it all the way up to get this handguard off. So you push that up, and it allows you to pull this handguard off where you store your battery at.